Knowledge may be the key that opens the door, but what we do on the other side is more important. When we perceive the light that shines through the crack in the door, we step onto the pathway from ego to spiritual awareness. This is the direction we need to go to expand our concept of the future. The first step is to establish our goal. When we take steps to fulfill that goal, we realize that we are fighting a battle, not externally, but internally. This is the battle of life, and each step along the way opens the door a little further. Thus does life progress from one stage to the next. It can be an exciting journey. It all depends on our state of mind. If we are open and clear, then our progress is much swifter. However, we need to understand the significance of everything that occurs. The event itself is not that important. It is the lesson that is. The teaching is an expansion of our ego as we open to connect to our higher self. Hunger for knowledge. There was a gnawing hunger deep within me to know more about life. I was in my mid-40s, but it felt as if I'd been sleepwalking through life. Insecurity and fear were familiar feelings from the past, and often it takes the crises to get the courage to overcome them. In 1982, we rented our house out and moved to Brisbane. Our children, Darren and Bonnie, were in school, so I went back to part-time work and enjoyed the stimulation of being back in the workforce. We started making new friends and a new life. But just when things were settling down after 3 years, Lee's position at the university was up for renewal, and when he received a better offer from Sydney, we gave our tenants notice and moved back into our Sydney home. I was now working in advertising and promotions and enjoying my job. Our children were going to the local school and settled in well. But Lee was unsettled and suddenly one morning said he needed space to sort out his troubles. Was it work-related or personal? He did not stay around long enough to discuss it, because when I came home from work, he had already gone. My old feelings of fear and insecurity were back. Could I cope on my own with 2 teenage children? Was I earning enough to support us? One day, a friend gave me a book called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy, and it set me on the road to answering all those inner questions that rose to the surface of my awareness every now and again. I discovered the Theosophical Society's bookshop and spent many happy hours roaming its shelves, because there were so many exciting books to read. It was hard to know where to start, and often I would walk in and go straight to a book that shouted to me to buy it. Authors like Madame Blavatsky, Alice Bailey, Anne Williams Heller, Elizabeth H., Gary Zukov, and even Mary Summer Rain found their way into my library. At one stage, there was an inner shift, more like a feeling which said without words, "Seek, and thee shall find." Everything I was reading talked about expanded potentials in humanity, indicating they had always been there, but were hidden so deep that revealing them would involve a complete change in how we view life. When I think back to that time, it was with a clearer understanding of what was happening. I was being given a huge nudge from within, and finally was brave enough to listen and be open to change. Courage comes in different guises, and because of my past conditioning, life had been following a predictable curve. But the time had come to move out of my comfort zone and try something new. I was more than ready to take this step.